Hello, everybody. Okay. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I have a new microphone, guys. So we're trying something new. Welcome. I'm Jess, Michigan Crime Time. If you cannot hear me very well, please let me know. Like I said, I got a new microphone set up. Might end up switching back to my old one. I can't hear myself, so I don't know what I'm doing. I am making further progress on my studio, but I don't have a good placement for the camera. So you're like way up here. I'm down here. So I know it's an odd angle. I apologize. I couldn't sit on the floor this week again. Hey, Denny. I've been sitting on the hard hospital chairs. My back can't take it. Can you hear me guys all right? I got a new microphone, so I'm not sure how I sound. I can't hear myself. So, but I just at hospital. So I made a post about my dad being in the hospital. And this situation's been ongoing for several weeks, or months. Was that a week ago? He had pins in his foot and screws. One of the screws was loose. The doctor pulled it out in the office. It wasn't good. And then it acted like it was infected and his foot ballooned up. So you guys saw those photos on my post of my dad's foot. They didn't know what kind of an infection it was. They literally couldn't find an infection, but he was on massive antibiotics. They ended up doing this procedure where they took his white blood cells and they attached radioisotopes to it so that the white blood cells would then go to the infection and light up the infection. And it was in his second toe, in the bone. So it was a bone infection, which is why they're having a hard time finding it when they were running labs, whatever. So they were talking, worst case scenario would have been an amputation. Come to find out, it would have been amputating only the toe, not his foot. My grandfather, his dad, was a double amputee. He had foot problems and he had complications from diabetes and all that stuff that we have in our family. My dad has, that I have. So he was really anxious about an amputation, but that's not the case. Yesterday was his birthday. He did get to come home, and the infectious disease folks got his insurance to cover this IV antibiotic that he only has to get every 14 days. So he was looking at coming home with a PICC line, having to do daily IV infusions of antibiotics himself. So that is not happening. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, it's been going off and on for a while. He's got a lot of issues with his feet, and the surgery was to try and correct his feet. Anyways, I don't know what's going to happen with that in the end, but the bone is healthy. The bone in his big toe where he has Charcot foot, I think it is. That bone is essentially the surgeon said it's like a hand grenade went off in the bone. But that toe is stable. The bone is stable. So they're not looking at any further surgery right now. It's going to be a good 4 to 8 weeks for the infection, to go away. With 6 weeks being the sweet spot that they go for. So fingers crossed, another month or so he'll be back up and around. He's doing really well because it was his birthday yesterday and he got to go home. He was so excited. So he's home. He hates the hospital. He stresses out and he hates asking for help. Unlike someone I don't currently reside in their body of. I'm a lot like my dad. Anyways, I thank you guys all for the prayers and the support and the love. It was a hellish week to go through all of that. Anyways, let's go watch this first video. I literally was recording videos last night at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I was like, I have nothing. I have not been
Ganatra for the
watching.
people.
Zachary Ward on behalf of Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, can you unmute and state your name?
Boyce Davis.
This is from today.
You hear me?
Yeah, do you have a camera too?
Yeah, I gotta turn my camera on real quick. I don't know why it's off right now, but I'm about to do it through the app.
That sounds good. I don't remember why I recorded this one, guys.
Here you go.
Okay.
What are we doing on this?
Your Honor, as far as the PCC, I would be requesting an adjournment. There is some videos that we haven't received yet.
I'll grant that adjournment, but we got to deal with his bond violation.
Yes, Your Honor, and I did have a chance to speak to Mr. Davis about that. The address given for the home confinement is his father's address. Mr. Davis was under the impression that he would be able to live there upon his release from the hospital and jail. However, apparently, based on discussions with his father, that he's not welcome in that home at this time. So he went and stayed with his sister at the address of 719 Cross Street. So we'd be requesting that the court allow him the chance to continue on home confinement at the sister's address. Mr. Davis, after the filing of the bond report, did contact his agent at Community Corrections and updated his contact information and let him know everything that had happened. And I was able to confirm that with the corrections agent. So we'd be requesting the opportunity to continue home confinement at the sister's address.
So this is another case of keep your mouth shut. They never learn. This guy, if I'm correct, let's just say I'll give you a trigger warning. My things. I'm not an attorney, and what I say is my opinion. All comments, regardless of verbiage, is opinion only. All persons are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. My videos are not the official record of the court. I think I got it all right. Anyways, I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning on this. It involves pew-pews, and they were near a school. So that nobody, well, I can't say nobody was hurt, but nobody innocent was hurt, in my opinion.
Any objection from the people?
Well, Your Honor, if the court's going to give this defendant a tether, then changing the address, I don't object to that. However, the facts and circumstances of this case were concerning. And essentially what happened was the Sheriff's Department received contact from a concerned citizen, and the complaint had said that there were two young men, one wearing a mask and carrying a gun, was walking near Rosenville Elementary. Deputy Ballas made contact. Defendant ran away. He had a gun tucked into his waistband. That gun accidentally went off discharge while he was running away, and the defendant was shot. No other shots were fired. The deputy rendered aid and secured the gun while other deputies arrived. The gun had aftermarket parts, no serial number. It was a gray polymer 80 frame P80 with a rubber grip and a black aftermarket NDZ slide.
So the fact that it was a gray polymer and all that stuff makes me think that it is a homemade, or what they call a ghost gun, using 3D printing and some aftermarket parts. And that is scary. That's all I have to say, is that is scary.
An extended 9mm magazine loaded with 9mm ammo. Defendant indicated that he knew the gun was loaded. There was a conditional bond out of Oakland County for Utah. And honestly, Judge, the fact that his father wouldn't take him in says a lot about the current circumstances of what he's been doing, what he's up to. So if the court's inclined to give him a GPS tether, then the people don't object to changing that address. But I don't know if he should be out right now.
Yeah,
Judge,
Yeah.
I hear you. Go ahead.
the wound was serious. The officer noted that Mr. Davis's intestines were protruding from the entry wound.
Well, he did it to
Obviously, he
himself.
went to the hospital. So this is a significant medical situation that he'd be asking the court to.
Of his own doing.
Yes, but he would ask for the opportunity to get the medical care he needs while not incarcerated.
I'm pretty sure that they can take care of him just fine in the Washtenaw County Jail because they do have nurses there.
And should demonstrate to this court that he can comply with the home confinement orders.
Do you have anything from the individual at 17 at the Cross Street address that indicates that he can reside there? Also, I need to know, is it a subsidized unit? Because given the nature of the charges, he wouldn't be able to reside there if it is. Do we have any of that information?
Your Honor, I haven't spoken directly with the sister. When I spoke to Mr. Davis, it sounded like she was present in the room, and so obviously was not objecting.
That she was what?
She was present. I could hear her in the background, so.
I want some verification that this defendant can reside at that address. I'll place the defendant on notice, and I'm going to take a close look at this as to whether or not, given the circumstances, the defendant should even have been released in the first place. But he's then released and then given a tether, home confinement, but then isn't at that home. I've got these other things surrounding this, if it is indeed correct, but given the address, the offense address, that he's got a loaded weapon near a school, we're going to have some problems. But let's deal with where he is initially and whether or not he can be there, first of all. And then I'll move from there as to whether or not I'm even going to let him remain out. So at this juncture, I'll continue his bond, knowing that he's residing at that address. And you're going to provide some proof of that. I'm adjourning this just out till Tuesday, so I want that information by the 16th, this Tuesday, for a preliminary exam or for PCC, which we're having on that day. May 16th, 2023, 9 a.m. So at this point, his bond will continue, and I'll deal with this on the 23rd.
I'll
Is that
say
on
something.
Zoom, Your Honor.
Pardon?
Zoom on for the 16th or the 23rd? I apologize, Your Honor. What was the date?
The 16th.
Okay.
It will be via Zoom at
Say
this
something
moment.
or no.
All right, Mr. Davis.
Pardon?
Am I allowed to talk or I can't say nothing?
I wouldn't recommend talking in this.
Keep your mouth shut.
Point, Mr. Davis. I'll be in touch, and we can readdress whatever issues you have next week.
It's not like I'm a criminal or something. I feel like my life was in danger too. I was scared. Like I was scared for my life. If a police officer
Oh yeah.
pull up on anybody, you feel me? And I'm a young.
Mr.
I
Davis,
think he probably should stop talking.
I agree with
Yeah.
that, Your Honor. Mr. Davis, I don't think there's anything you can say that would help right now, so I strongly recommend you talk with me.
I'm just saying I'm in bad condition right now. I'm
Because of
messed
yourself?
up right now. It should be all right.
Uh-uh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that was from today. Let's see what I have here. This next clip is from yesterday. I just called her. I did not
Case
edit
of the
any
People
of these today,
versus
so I
Susanna Williams.
apologize. There she is.
The
Ms.
violation.
Williams, Ms. Williams, would you state your name for the record?
Hello, good morning. My name is Susanna Marie Williams.
Teresa Player on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Ms. Williams is before the court for a violation of probation hearing. Ms. Williams is in non-compliance with a lot of the terms of her probation. She has a balance of $870. The last payment that she made to the court was back in December of 2019. She failed to complete the CCOP program. Back then she had failed a drug test as ordered, missing several dates. On that, I provided those dates to the court. She had a positive drug screen as well back on December 30th, 2019 of opiates. She last reported to probation, or last report date was in to drug screen that day and to enter residential treatment. She failed to do so and kind of went out on a limb and did not report to probation after. She failed to provide proof of either of those things, like I said, and did not report. She also has a new criminal case that is pending. It's a retail fraud out of this court with an alleged offense date of December 21st, 2022. She's scheduled for a pretrial in that matter on May 17th. Probation is recommending in this matter, Your Honor, that Ms. Williams serve 365 days in jail with credit for 36 days served to date to serve the balance, that she complete the in-jail Dawn Farm program, waive remaining terms of this probation, and discharge her from probation without improvement.
All right. Ms. Williams?
Yes, I'm here.
Hold on. Do you want a hearing on these violations? Do you want to admit to them?
No, I'd like a hearing because I completed Sacred Heart in 2020.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
did
You
the,
want, listen.
probation.
Okay.
I
Do you
did-
want to be okay. Do you want to be represented by an attorney on these?
Yes, I would. Please, I have a letter to the court.
Public defender.
Sylvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender, with and on behalf of Ms. Williams. Your Honor, if we could get an adjourned date so that I can meet with her and discuss these violations.
All right. What I will do is I will indicate this is now a public defender case. And I'll adjourn this matter to May 24th, 2023. 9 a.m. as your Zoom invite indicates. Bond in this matter will continue.
Okay, so Your Honor, can I speak, please? Judge Simpson?
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know if you could hear me. Well, I have a letter for the judge or for you in the court. Would you like me to read it now or?
Well, if you're looking to say anything about the alleged violations, I don't want you saying anything about them until you talk to an attorney. You told me that you wanted to have an attorney, and so it's suggested that you do that.
Right, because I did complete Sacred Heart in 2020.
And Ms. Williams will address that at your next hearing, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
Oh,
You can do the
Lord.
same.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
See, at least
Or
these
cause a
guys
case.
listen. These folks seem to listen a little bit. Okay, so now we got our next one. Also from yesterday. If I remember correctly, this was sentencing that took a little bit of time. see. Hi, buddy. Okay. I hit play. It's quiet. Why was it quiet?
The 14A District
There we
Court for
go.
County of Washtenaw, State of Michigan is now back in session. All those having business before the court draw near. The Honorable Judge J. Cedric Simpson presiding.
And good morning. Court does call the case of the People versus Sophia Fenby.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender.
No,
with
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to pass that for a second. I want the EDAD.
This is the sentencing
Court
that
does call the case of the People versus Sapphire Harbor.
this is one of the reasons why I absolutely adore Judge Simpson, is this sentencing hearing that we're going to watch. It is, the incident was a little crazy. I'll warn you, it does involve some violence, but not too graphic. At least there's no images, but the victim does make an impact statement, and I think it's very important. So I'm not gonna interrupt this thing. Sorry, I have Fritz with me, and he's being a jerk. Let's just watch this.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Ms. Harburg. Ms. Harburg, could you please state your name for the record?
Sapphire Harburg.
Thank you. Your Honor, there's a couple of matters going on here. This is the date and time for sentencing, but Ms. Harburg was brought into custody yesterday for a bond violation.
Oh, I was wrong. This is not that sentencing. This is another girl that has all the excuses.
I saw that she's on today's arraignment docket, but I was hoping that we could perhaps get her arraigned on the bond violation and handle the sentencing.
I don't have the bond violation. On which bond violation?
So Your Honor, Teresa,
Go ahead, Ms. Blair.
yes, Your Honor, Teresa Blair on behalf of probation. The bond violation, she violated conditions of bond in this case, Your Honor. She completed a pre-sentence interview with me. I had concerns about continued drug use. I asked the court to put a testing order in place, which it did. She did go for testing and tested positive for fentanyl, marijuana, and cocaine, I believe, Your Honor. The court did issue a warrant on that. Due to that, she did appear yesterday in person for a PE on another matter. She was taken into custody on the bench warrant in this case. So that's the bond violation that Ms. Reed is referring to. However, Your Honor, given the circumstances that happened from yesterday, that case is being remanded down to district court, which is being kept at this court with you, and she is scheduled for sentencing in that matter on May 24th. I'm not sure if the court wants to proceed with sentencing in this matter today and then handle that matter on the 24th, or if the court would like to bump this matter to the 24th and handle it all together.
Ms. Reed.
Ms. Pilara did address the
Sorry, guys, I
violation
don't
in
have
her
this set up very
recommendation.
well.
I think that as long as Ms. Harburg, we discussed that recommendation, which was for 4 days in custody for the violation. Ms. Harburg understands that as long as she's able to get out of custody after that point, I don't think that we have any issue with adjourning the sentencing so that they can both be done at the same time.
Well, what's the bond on the other case?
Unfortunately, I do not have that information, and I don't think that our system is working so that I can pull it up right now.
Your Honor, I don't believe that she has a bond in that matter, and I can look and tell you.
That was on the matter that was before Judge Freshour. That's now my case. She doesn't have a bond on that one.
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I believe it is a
Right.
PR. So she is only being held in custody on this case.
All right.
Oh, actually, Your Honor, it shows bond denied on both.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
my understanding. So she doesn't, when you say she doesn't have a bond, she's not getting out either way.
And I don't understand, and maybe they have not updated things because the jail shows her court date in that matter to be June 15th. So maybe they have not corrected the date to May 24th with you.
Correct. Okay. So she's not, given the fact that
Burn it all to the
she's basically
ground,
been denied
baby.
that and bond on that other case that is now my case. So she won't be getting out. And I had this, I could deal with it, but it doesn't seem to me to make much sense to not try to put all of that together under one umbrella and adjourn this out to the 24th.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
You can go for it.
I would.
So I got out of jail, and when I got out of jail last month, I was doing really good. I relapsed one time, and then that was the date I had to go and drop was the very next day. I've been doing really good other than that, and I relapsed because I'm in a new relationship, and I figured since I'm, early recovery and stuff that a new relationship isn't great for me, and so I told him that it would be better if we were just friends.
Your Honor, and I have something to say to that. When I did the PSI with Ms. Harburg, she did report to me that she drank alcohol the day she got out of jail to celebrate getting out of jail, knowing that she had these other cases.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was the bond was so that I couldn't do anything. I didn't realize that because the bond was set for 3 years ago, and I
Of course you
didn't read the paperwork apparently.
Your Honor, and I also have some other concerns. Miss Harburg is receiving medicated assisted treatment. She is receiving methadone. And with her using
the other problem,
the drugs that she's using along with that's a recipe for disaster for her. And I have
Yeah, so she's in a treatment program, so she's on methadone, and then she takes something that was laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl, a piece of fentanyl the size of a grain of salt is enough to kill like 2 people. It doesn't take much. So the fact that she is out there taking drugs that are apparently inadvertent, unbeknownst to her, laced with fentanyl, yeah, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And she's on methadone on top of that. She's lucky she didn't OD. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not blowing this out of proportion. Yeah, I've never had to get out of jail unless I was transporting a patient out, or bringing a patient in, or transporting a suspect. Yeah, I've never had to personally get myself out of jail. Neither has my husband, nor has my mom, dad, or sister. I don't think my brother-in-law has. I don't know I don't know. I guess I come from a good family, but I know addiction happens to anyone. I have a cousin that died from a hot shot after being sober. So I understand like how bad addiction is. I get it, but she did this the day she got out. She was in a relationship. Yeah, this girl is like in a heap of trouble. Outside of just the court stuff, she's in a heap of trouble. She really, really, really needs some forced sobriety time.
Concerns.
I stopped using heroin completely. The fentanyl was in the cocaine that I used. It was not in any. I haven't used any heroin at all. Only using the methadone for my opiate addiction.
For the cocaine that you use.
Okay, but you do understand with the fentanyl that's still going to cause a.
I understand, and I've completely stopped using cocaine and everything else. Like I only did it one time because I was relapsed and I was really in a bad place. But I've been doing really good, and so I'm really upset that I'm here because I fucked up one time.
That's the term.
I think that is a legal term, but
Sorry,
young
I'm sorry.
lady, look, you get out,
I think she's
right?
more sorry that she's
You
in
drink.
jail than that she.
Then we get to you. Do you have a marijuana card?
Yeah, I'm in the process of getting it right now.
No,
I have
But
to
you
go.
don't have. Okay.
I have
Listen
to
to
get
my
my state
question.
ID.
Oy.
You don't have a card, right?
No.
And so when we went and had you tested, and this was only 9 days ago that we had you tested, you come back with 3 drugs in your system.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I know. God, it looks really bad.
It is
My
really
words don't
bad.
mean anything right now, and that really sucks.
Well, it doesn't just look bad, it is. And then on top of that, when Miss Polera asked you,
I was trying to be honest.
what did you say?
I was trying to be honest.
You were trying to be honest?
Yeah, because she was
And
asking
what,
me.
and that just didn't work for you, or what happened?
I mean, it doesn't.
When Miss Polera asked you if you were using, what did you say?
I told her no.
Yeah.
And that wasn't true, was it?
No.
And so when you tell me that you've been clean,
I was afraid to go back to jail.
hold on. You know what, young lady?
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
I've been dealing with addicts a long time. And the one thing that they do is they'll at times won't tell me the truth. And then the other thing is you try to overtalk me.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to let you say whatever you want to say, but you're going to ultimately end up answering my questions.
Which is?
That was not the only time that you used.
They don't have residency requirements? Or are you considered a dual citizen? Because I don't know how that works.
It was. I'm being totally honest when I say I have no reason to lie about this. I really don't. I used
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I don't lie. I mean, I try not to lie.
Sure.
As much as possible.
Okay. All right.
I was afraid of going back to jail.
I think that Judge Simpson and I might possibly have some shared brain or thought processes. I literally just watched this once, like when I was recording. It was off on the. I had my phone like to the side, and I was watching something else while this was recording. So I really haven't seen this. So you own property there. Does that give you residency? I don't know how Canada works. I'm in South Canada, which is, according to my OG BFF, is Michigan. We're South Canada officially. He's also a weirdo.
Go ahead. I'm going to listen to you.
I was afraid of going back to jail when I did the.
And how'd that work?
Not great, because here I am.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
So here's what I'm going to do, because I think at some point you're going to need to have an in-depth conversation with your attorney. And given what I'm hearing, given what I'm seeing, I'm not sure that I would have followed this recommendation anyway of just 4 days. Because I really don't believe that you stopped. I don't believe you get all that into your system.
Oh. Well, depending on the next election, I might need to borrow your property. We'll have to see how the next election cycle
Then
goes.
lie to the probation department, get you tested, and then
I was supposed to test yesterday. If I would have been able to go in and test, you would have seen that I'm not using anymore.
because you've been in jail.
No, I just got put in jail yesterday.
Yeah.
I was supposed to drug test yesterday at community corrections, and if I would have been able to go in and test, you would be able to see that I don't have any of that shit in my system anymore.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't really say anything about her swearing. Sometimes he's a stickler about that.
So you tested on 4/27. Well, we have a 5/1 test.
I'm totally jealous. I'll take 2 acres if we can clear it and put some sheep up there.
Yeah, I think you need to have a more thorough conversation with probation or with your attorneys regarding this and the other matter, as well as what you're doing, because quite frankly, you're out there doing this and you're going to end up killing yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's
and unless you start just about stuff and whatever.
I just wanted to say one more thing is
that
I know how badly my heroin use was killing me, and last time I got out of jail last month, I was really, really like on track to get better. And that's why I started going to the methadone clinic every day. And I've been going every day. There's paperwork showing that I went every day. I'd do all the tests that they asked. Like I said, I relapsed one time. My boyfriend got upset about something and he was really mopey and I couldn't handle it because I had just gotten out of jail. I was still newly recovering and I couldn't deal with it. So yeah, I did go out and use, but I haven't used since then. I have no desire to use. I really don't. I really do want to get better.
So you're saying that on 4/27, when you tested positive, April 27th, that that's the same drugs that were in your system that then appeared on 5/1?
I'm not sure. No, I used the night before I dropped. That's the night that I relapsed.
So you used on April 30th because you tested on 5/1, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Then why on April 27th were you testing positive?
April 27th. I didn't go in for another drug test. I only went in for one.
That's not what my report says.
Just so you know, there's a little bit of a kerfluffle mix-up.
It says in the report that I have from Community Corrections, she reported to me that she's been clean. Same thing that she said to probation. Since she was released from the Washtenaw County Jail. However, when tested on April 27, 2023, she tested with a positive result for THC, fentanyl, and cocaine.
I think that
in this case, it is actually. This is, his report is wrong.
Then the other part, hold on.
Okay.
Then the other part of the report indicates that they received our new report and that then you tested on 5/1/2023 and tested positive for that.
Nope.
Well, those were the same drugs because I never used but one time.
Your Honor, I believe that they
Do they have their dates confused, or
I think I know that she tested on April 27th, and I don't show another test. Her next test should have been yesterday, which they have her down as missed. That's because she was here in court.
Yeah.
So where they've indicated 5/1, it is only that 4/27 test?
It is, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, then we need to get that corrected by Community Corrections. I want a clarification of that.
I will send them a message.
All right. Just so that we're clear on all of that. All right.
Either way, she still had a negative positive test.
I think, counsel, then here's what I'm going to do, just because I'm not sure I believe what the defendant is telling me. I'm going to adjourn this to May 24th, 2023, 9 a.m. or as our Zoom invite indicates. I would indicate that if you wish her bond to be reduced in this and the other matter, you can file a motion before the court to do so. But at this time, I'm not reducing her bond. Her bond will continue as denied.
Understood.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, this next case.
Court calls the case.
I'll come see you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hall.
Okay, this next case is a good one. It really shows the depth
Calls the case. People versus
of
Sophia
justice
Fenby.
and compassion.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender, with and on behalf of Ms. Fenby. Ms. Fenby, could you please unmute and state your name for the record?
Sophia Fenby.
Thank you. Your Honor, today is the date and time for sentencing in this matter. We reviewed the PSI report. We have no additions, deletions, or corrections, and we would just ask that the recommendation from probation be adopted.
Teresa Clare on behalf of probation, Your Honor, I believe that the victim in this case is present and would like to address the court.
Ma'am, do you want to address the court?
Do I need to show my video or?
Yes, please. Okay, go ahead.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Karma.
Okay.
Yes.
What would you like the court to know?
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Just like to thank the courts for giving me this opportunity to make a statement. This incident happened to me over almost 3.5 years ago, and I've been patiently waiting and glad it's coming to an end. When this incident happened, I'm not going to water it down. Miss Fenby and her counterpart decided to pull up behind me and my 2 young daughters in Starbucks drive-through line and approach my car, yelling threatening words at me. And as I ignored it, Miss Fenby decided to get out of her car and run up to my window as I'm trying to order, and thought it was okay to punch me in my face through my window car, or my car window, I'm sorry. And at that moment, I thought I was dreaming. And as I put my car in park and wanting to get out my car, my daughters, both of my daughters were in the car, and they begged me with frightening tears not to get out the car, and I didn't.
I would have got out the car.
At that point, I don't know if my daughters maybe saved my life. But I felt very violated, humiliated after being punched in my face in front of my daughters. And my ego was surely broken and bruised. And in that moment, I struggled, and I still struggle with what I did versus what I really wanted to do. But I keep telling myself I did the right thing. Although there was no financial effect upon my family, it has definitely left an emotional impact upon us. For me, it has tormented me with the thoughts of wanting to obtain a CPL license. Never have I ever felt a need to carry or purchase a firearm. But since this incident, I am slowly going through an emotional process of obtaining a CPL. But I continuously ride this roller coaster on if I should or not. My daughters who witnessed this crime.
This is where people are getting in trouble if they F around and find out, because you never know when someone's carrying. That's the thing with concealed carry. You don't know who's carrying around you. Just assume everybody is. And you shouldn't be punching people in the face. I would have gotten out of that car, and there would have been words. There probably would have been more than words, but yeah.
I was frightened, traumatized, and distraught. And my one daughter's whose idea was it to go to Starbucks that day blames herself for what happened. Prior to this crime, a place of business we visited so frequently, we have not been able to go back to this place since the incident. What Ms. Fenby did was an unprovoked act of violence, and there was little to no actions of remorse based on her actions. For example, Ms. Fenby assaulted me. She and her counterpart decided to get back in their car and run away from the scene. After I pressed charges, Ms. Fenby never showed up to her preliminary hearing, which was issued a bench warrant. Now it's been over 3.5 years, and Ms. Fenby's bench warrant caught up with her. And she did not want to take an offer and wanted to go to trial. It goes to trial and I show up to testify, but now, Ms. Fenby, please, no contest. Where is the remorse? Your Honor, what needs to be identified as an acceptable and responsible path to deter such behavior. And I'm asking for some sort of jail time to be sentenced, whether it's 2 months, 1 week, or even 3 days, with the continuum of what probation is asking for, along with some sort of therapy. A lesson just needs to be learned here. And Ms. Fenby, what I feel needs to be punched in her face, and maybe not as recklessly, physically, and barbarically as she punched me in my face in front of my 2 daughters. That was, again, not provoked. She needs something
I
to
think
learn her
Carmen's
lesson.
ego got bruised
Thank you.
more than anything.
Miss, what do you think jail time would serve in this case?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I just feel like when the thing happened, she wasn't even arrested. When it happened, she was let go. I feel 2 weeks to 2 months, something. That's what I feel.
But the purpose of it, why?
Yeah, but how do you see anything being gained from that?
Well, I think it gives a person the time to think about their actions. I think she has not been able to given a time to think about her actions. So to really critically think about what her behavior was.
Okay. Yeah.
She is a great witness, but I think listening to her, and you guys will hear coming up, it's her ego that was hurt more than anything, I think. Let's just watch.
Counsel, anything you want to say before I impose sentence?
Exactly.
I would just state that I understand.
A jail sentence would be to teach her a lesson that your actions have consequences. And the fact that she skipped out, and it's what she said, it's been a couple of years since it happened. She needs to learn that it's a serious process and that requires a timeout because she did something bad. That's what she should have said about why there needs to be a jail sentence. It's a punishment to help her learn, give her a timeout, that her actions have consequences, and this is a direct consequence to the actions that she has done up to this point. That's what she should have said.
Where Ms. Stewart is coming from in terms of how this impacted her. Ms. Fenby has thought about her actions. This court case has been going on for at least a little while, but there has, as stated, been about 3.5 years since the event occurred. Ms. Fenby has
been on the run.
Taken time to consider that, especially given her involvement with the court. She has not had any other criminal history outside of this case. She is employed and she has been compliant with all court orders. I believe that probation's recommendation will allow her to be under court supervision and continue considering her actions and how those impacted others. I think that the recommendation from probation is reflective of the stability that Ms. Fenby has in her life, and also balances her having to serve some sort of punishment, as it be, through probation, which would be appropriate given, like I said, the offense and her lack of criminal history in this matter.
Well, I don't know. I think her brazen behavior.
Anything you'd like to tell the court before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor. Other than that, I am very sorry and very remorseful in this case, and I apologize for taking the court's time. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's what I'm here for. Can I ask why you did this?
Because I feel very panicked. I felt that when the car was put in reverse, I interpreted that as being put in reverse to hit my partner that was outside of the car. and I didn't know.
Why was
I
he out?
didn't know what to do.
I want to know why he was outside of the car in the drive-thru at Starbucks. Like, you don't typically get out of your car when you're in the drive-thru. So why were you in the drive-thru? And she does realize that if you're in park and you have to go put it into drive, you end up going past reverse, so the reverse lights will actually show up the flash.
To diffuse the situation, I was very scared. So I did do what I did, but I've never done anything like that in my life, and it wasn't intended to hurt. It was just intended to stop the situation, although now I realize it was not the right thing to do.
Yeah, but the car wasn't moving when you took the swing, was it?
The reverse lights were on, and I panicked.
But you had to get out of the car.
No, I thought it was going in reverse, though. It was very close to us, and he was between the two cars.
Ma'am, in the time that all of that happened, had that been Miss Stewart's objective, she could have gone into reverse and caused great damage, right?
Yes, I thought that's what was happening. I thought that's what was going to.
Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
But while you're thinking about that happening, you had to exit a vehicle and get yourself up next to her vehicle and then take the swing, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a.
So he wasn't in immediate danger. Yeah.
A lot of time, relatively speaking, isn't it?
It didn't feel like it at the time, but
I am doing well. Tired. My dad is home, which is great news. They don't have to do any amputation. He has an infection in the bone in his foot. But his insurance approved him to do an antibiotic infusion that they only have to do every 14 days. And it's a broader spectrum antibiotic, so it's gonna cover whatever the infection is, because like they can't do a biopsy on it because the infection is just in the bone. So that'll be 4 to 8 weeks. 6 weeks is the sweet spot for that, but he's home, which is good, so that's under control. And yeah, so life is good over here now that my dad's out of the hospital. So thank you for asking. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you were here.
yes.
Well, it's a lot of time, given what you were trying to prevent, right? All of that could have occurred within the time frame that you got out, walked up to her vehicle and hit her, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. And pray that my dogs learn how to
So tell me what makes me believe that you won't do this again. This is, I mean, as I read this, it's one of the most troubling things for me because it's a lot like road rage that just is occurring, sometimes inexplicably. So tell me what will assure the court that you're not going to do this again.
I have never in my life been involved with any kind of violent interaction, and what I did not come from a place.
But she's not done anything violent. But she chose violence that day, for sure.
Of anger or wanting to punish someone, but just from a place of fear. But I know now I've learned my lesson, and I will never do anything like this again, nor have I done it before. This is very uncharacteristic of me. I am not a violent person.
So you've never done it before. It's out of character for you, but you know you'll never do it again. But you did it this time. I'm sorry, I don't buy that.
I'm not an angry person.
Ms. Stewart, how old were your daughters?
They were 7 and 9 at the time.
Right?
Okay.
Like, she seriously woke up and chose violence that day. That's a lot of violence, man. Like I said, I didn't edit this, so I didn't get the silences edited out.
Miss Fenby? Miss Fenby,
Yes.
when you hear Miss Stewart
Yep.
not so much talk about herself, but about the effects it had on her daughter, what comes to your mind?
I feel horrible. My heart breaks, and I'm so sorry for the impact that this made.
World's smallest violin.
I never wanted anything like this to happen, and I am so sorry.
Sorry, her whining is irritating.
But what do you think about when you hear a mother talk about what her daughters are thinking?
I feel very bad. I feel very remorseful, and it honestly breaks my heart. I would never want to have that impact on anyone, especially children, and I am so sorry.
All right. Ms. Stewart, let me tell you this. A couple of things.
Yeah, but they were in the drive-thru at Starbucks, and literally, like, her boyfriend or her partner was out of the car, which I don't know why her partner was outside of the car in the drive-thru, but he was in between the cars, and she, for whatever reason, she put her car in gear or whatever. When she was parked, she had it in reverse. The car wasn't moving, but she had put it in reverse. And that's why she got out of the car and went and punched her. Cars weren't moving. She had put it in reverse. So it's one of those things, like, she was trying to order at Starbucks, and all of a sudden this chick comes up and, slams her in the face with her fist. I don't think that this is a justifiable case, honestly.
I don't believe that imposing jail at this point is the thing to do. Because I don't
He's such a
think,
softie.
as I listen to you, I don't think that that's necessarily what you really want to have happen. Sounds to me, and maybe I'm wrong, and feel free to correct me, but I think what you care about more than anything in the world is not even the punch, not even any of that, but your daughters think
that it was in front of your daughters
and what they think now going forth in the world. I think that's primary to you in everything. As I'm listening to you, I'm trying to decipher what you're telling me, and that's what I'm getting from it. Okay, and I'll just say, as a parent, I hear you. Right, it's tough enough out there without stuff that's happening. But also, I have to say that as I read the report and everything, I have to commend you. Because what you could have done is to step from that vehicle, cause a confrontation that could have gone anywhere, And a lot of bad things could happen.
Definitely don't mess with my caffeine.
But what you did is you got your family out of the way, went down, and you reported.
I think she handled it well.
I don't think there's a greater lesson that you could have imposed upon your daughter or given your daughters as to, in certain events, how to handle that type of situation. Because you could have taught them something very different. And so, like I said, I have to say, when I look at this, I commend you. I've been sitting here a long time and I see these incidents, something like this, and they just escalate into things that we can't even imagine that it even started.
You do not want to know. You don't want to know. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
The way that it did, and then it turns into whatever. Okay. But I also don't think that jail time is it. Because I don't.
I did
Go
explain.
ahead.
I did explain to my daughters what. So me, of my request is requests from my daughters, and then me explaining what the possibility of what the sentencing would be, and I did talk to them about what probation was offering, and as my daughters, who is now 14 and 12,
yeah,
from the words of their mouths, they said that's it. That's all she would get.
No, I understand.
So I'm just saying, and so yes, I am here fighting for what my daughters would want, or what the words they said to me. So I know how things are, but in their head and what they interpret and what they see, and what they saw and what I think what they feel the law or what bad people do, or think what's supposed to do, I think that they won't get it. They won't get it. They won't understand.
They may.
They
may. I think the kids are a whole lot.
As they get older, over time. But I think, I just think as two young African American.
I don't know if in this instance violence begets violence, because that would then be teaching the children that if someone hits you, you hit them back. And that's justice. And it's not always the case. Should she be punished? Yes. Do I think being punched in the face would teach her a lesson? Sure. But what lesson is that woman then teaching her children? I don't know. I am not a person that necessarily thinks violence begets violence. I think there are less violent ways to handle situations like this. One would be confinement on tether, paying fines. But let's finish watching and we'll see exactly what Judge
girls who
does.
see a Caucasian woman assault a Black woman, they see what they are seeing in this world. And they said, that's it. Is that it? So I'm here because I am fighting for them. I am fighting for them. What they think should
I understand that. But ma'am, let me just tell you this.
Yeah. So there's an island here in Michigan that is like no horses live, or you can't have, there's no cars on the island. It's all bicycle or horse and buggy. And they have an old colonial fort, and they used to have the stockade like that where you could take pictures and everything. And I have pictures of that stuff from when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, sure, that would be a form of punishment, I guess. I don't think it would necessarily take care of most small crime, because back when we had that punishment system, we still had crime.
And since you broke it down and brought it up, I was raised by a black woman. I understand, and I understand how I'd feel if that was my mother being hit. But
Depends on what it is around here and how far out in the country you are, but a lot of times, yeah, you don't involve the cops. I think that's everywhere.
I also understand what our sense of justice is and what really has to happen. And quite frankly, despite what they may want, as parents raising kids in this world, we don't teach them about what the ultimate thing may be, but we teach them about what the right thing is. And sometimes what we have to do, despite all of the other things that are going on out there in the world, we have to have them understand what may be true justice. Just because something else is happening to somebody else or something is happening in a particular way, that doesn't mean doing X on this end is the right thing. Because I think that way, quite frankly, that's how our kids get in a lot of trouble. And so it's going to take moms like you, like my mom, like all of those moms out there to teach kids that there's a different way, despite what their reaction may be. So I understand what they say. I get it, because I know how I'd feel if it was my mom that was hit. Okay? I don't know that it would have turned out that way. I could see me and my brother coming out of that back seat. I don't know. All right? That's if we could beat my sisters out of there. So I get it. But I think they need to be shown that there's also a better way. And that certain things aren't going to happen the way that they want. I will just say also, in a moment of levity, having raised a daughter and also having my niece, that while I appreciate their thought process in it, I don't know that I'm going to be taking sentencing advice from 14-year-olds. I just, they have their own way of thinking about the world. I mean, I appreciate their view, but no, we let them run the world. We're all going to be in trouble. But anyway, all right. So here's what I'm going to do, though. And Ms. Polera, I'm going to increase the probationary term. So I'm going to order one other thing. Instead of the 12 months probation, I'm going to send Fenby placed 24 months probation. She used to pay the $555 fines and court costs. Her probationary fees will likewise concomitantly go up to $720 probation oversight fees. There is to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drug. You'll be subject to random testing as directed by probation. You are to complete an anger management class within 60 days. I will order that you're to continue your current mental health services at Packard Health, follow all recommended aftercare, including therapy and medication protocol. There is to be no contact with Karma Stewart or her family, directly or indirectly. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's to be no assaultive, threatening, intimidating behavior on your part. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. I will order 93 days in jail. I will suspend that jail. I'm going to add a term other than the increase in probationary time.
There a gift card.
And that is, well, let me put it this way. You know, it's easy to use words, Miss Fenby. And it's easy to say those words, remorse. It's easy to say those words after it's all over, I'm sorry. But one always has to wonder whether or not you mean it. I realize when people get before me, they say that all the time. And I have to sort out whether or not they really mean it. So, Ms. Valera, and you know, the other thing, Ms. Fenby, I'll just say this. You're telling me that you understand it and that you feel bad about it.
Bad doesn't really cover it.
You sound like an articulate person to me. So I'm going to reserve the court's right and jurisdiction to impose jail term during this probationary term. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to write 2 letters of apology.
Yes.
The first letter of apology is going to be to Miss Stewart. And I'm going to see whether or not you truly are remorseful. That letter of apology is to be given to probation. I don't want you to have any contact with Miss Stewart. And so that's the first letter.
Okay.
You understand that?
I do. I wrote it down. Yes.
And I will be, Ms. Fenby, so that you understand, I'll be reviewing those letters.
Woohoo.
So I'm going to be the one to see if there's remorse there. So you're going to write that to Ms. Stewart. But then the other thing you're going to do, and in a separate letter, because I think that there are separate issues that if you were really hearing what Ms. Stewart said and not just giving lip service to it, and you don't need their names. I don't want you to have their names. They're minors. You're going to write a letter of apology to the daughters. And I would suggest to you that in that letter, that you deal and grapple, maybe to the extent you understand, with what Ms. Stewart said about how it would feel to see that happen to your mother. Because see, I don't consider myself a violent person, but I know what me and my siblings would have done. I can just tell you. Because that would have been just a mess at Starbucks. If it were my family. And that's why I give Ms. Stewart all the credit in the world. But I want to see those, and then I will make a determination as to whether or not
no idea.
I will impose any jail time on the 93 that I've suspended. Everybody understand that?
No one blamed you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Those letters will be due to the court within 30 days, Ms. Blair.
Okay, we need to talk about this, Dearman. Your brother locked you in a stockade a few years ago? Like, did he just leave you in there? We need details on this. We need details. And no one's blaming you for kink. We're all adults here. But I still want to know. Oh, I need details. I blamed you? I don't think I blamed you. Just said you brought it up. Maybe I blamed you. I don't remember. I don't remember 10 minutes ago. Okay, come on. Exactly. Uh-huh. Yep. The audacity. Okay. Let's see. I have some more videos. Let's see. Where am I at? Which one is this one? I don't know which one this one is here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Da-da-da.
Court calls the case, People versus Boise Davis.
I already played that one. Hold on.
Image.
Okay, so he's the curator. He locked you in it for 2 hours? Oh, I would have been livid. I would have been mad. That might have made me choose violence. But that's cool that he's a curator of a museum. What kind of a museum is it? I love museums, by the way. Which one is this one? Is that the same one?
That the proof of the victim's impact panel 3 days in lieu of the 4 days in jail.
Did I play this one?
Court calls the case of the people versus Susanna Williams.
Yeah, okay, we watched this one already. Did we watch 4? I don't remember how many videos we watched. I thought I had more on my phone. I guess I don't. Which one is this one? Yeah, we watched this one. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you. I'm reading this. Thank you so much, Terry. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. It's always nice when you come by. I know I haven't watched you, Shannon. I have not been online much with everything going on with my dad's health, so it's been crazy. I saw you were on last night, but I was like, oh no, I don't have anything for tomorrow's stream. So I was kind of struggling. It's an old, I want to go, dear Med. I so want to come there. I want to hike and go see Irish has the castle on his property. I think that's the coolest thing. I would love to. I just want to come there and hike and go to museums and stuff. That'd be so fun. And hello from Michigan. Thanks for joining us from Texas. I'm actually kind of winding up the show here because I think I've watched all the videos that I downloaded off my phone right now. Did I look at that one? Which one's this one?
Thank you.
I'll come see you, Mr. Hall.
Okay, I don't think we watched this one. No, we didn't.
Calls the case, people versus Sophia Fenby.
Yes, we did.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender, with and on behalf of Ms. Fenby. Ms. Fenby, could you please unmute?
Okay, I think we watched all the videos that I have. Let's see, what do we have here? I'm looking real quick. I'm seeing what we have. Which one is this? That's awesome. Well, I picked a video. It's not coming up. It's not loading. We may or may not have a video pop up. Oh. I have no idea what video this is. I'm a huge nerd, so I like museums. I really need to figure out this camera angle thing. I need to figure this out because this angle is horrible. I'm sorry, you guys. Not that you're necessarily here to watch me. You're here for the videos. Okay. I am having trouble bringing up videos for some reason. I just want to remind you guys. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I am also going to edit this and make it a video.
Come forward.
Okay. Where we at? Okay, this video is a swearing in. It's a special video. He is swearing in a new attorney that I was excited to see this because I remember the first time he was in front of Judge Simpson So we've all been watching him for the last year, and now,
All
now is the
right.
final thing.
This is a special session of the Washington County Trial Court regarding the swearing in of Mr. Calvin J. Harburg, the Honorable J. Cedric Simpson, presiding. You may be seated.
For those of you waiting for preliminary examinations, I do apologize. One of our courtrooms went down and we have something that we need to conduct today. Court does call the matter of Calvin Hawthorne. Sir, please come forward. Sanderson.
I literally got teary-eyed when I saw this live.
You can come up to the podium. State your name, please.
Calvin J. Hawthorne, Jr.
All right. I understand that Miss Anderson is going to motion you in. So who has the motion? Is that correct, Miss Anderson?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
First Assistant Public Defender Colina Anderson. Before this honorable court, I do hereby move that the court admit Mr. Calvin Hawthorne, Jr. to the Michigan State Bar.
Thank you. Before I maybe grant the motion, Mr. Hawthorne, I met you, I guess it was probably about a year or so ago. It was one of the most surprising things to me because when you got there, I often ask people who appear before me where they're from, and I don't know them. And you told me Iowa, for which regrettably I know nothing about Iowa except really three things. I know about the Hawkeyes, and I do know about the Cyclones. I do know about one of the most wonderful events in sport when the Hawkeyes waved to the Children's Hospital. And I know that there are a lot of pigs in Iowa. That's all I know.
Corn.
Am I right on that?
Corn.
Yeah, you're spot on. You're missing the field of dreams, though.
What are you saying?
Said you're missing the field of dreams, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you ready for the oath?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right. What will you be doing after you take this oath, sir?
What exactly?
Like for a living? Yeah.
I'll be an attorney.
You'll be an attorney. Okay, good. Isn't that what we're doing? Where?
In the state of Michigan. I'll be with the public defender.
He told me earlier that he played baseball, and I'm thinking, I just threw you a lob pitch. You just blew it. You whiffed on it. You'll be employed where, sir?
With the Washington County Public Defender's Office.
Very good.
That's Utah.
Know about all that. All right, but anyway. All right. Is there anybody that you'd like to have up here with you while you take this oath? Yeah, you better, man.
Can I ask the entire office to come up?
You can absolutely do that. This is your day.
So Washington County Public Defender's Office, as well as Miss Dana Gentry.
Dana, come on up. I don't know what the boy thinking. You can come on up, and then with the rest of the PD office up here. Well, who the heck is defending anybody? Because they're all here. All right. So you're ready to take your oath. Are they all up there? Where is the public defender? Oh, she's kind of short. Well, looks like you got a lot of support and a lot of people that care about you. Are you ready to take the longest oath known to mankind?
I am.
Calvin J. Hawthorne, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Calvin J. Hawthorne, Jr.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan.
That I will maintain the respect.
That I will maintain the respect.
Due courts of justice.
Due courts of justice.
And judicial officers.
And judicial officers.
that I will not counsel or maintain
that I will not counsel or maintain
any suit or proceeding
any suit or proceeding
which shall appear to me to be unjust, nor any defense, except such as I believe
that I believe
to be honestly debatable under the law of the land. I will employ for the purpose of maintaining the causes confided to me. Such means only as are consistent with truth and honor. And I will never seek to mislead the judge or jury by any artifice or false statement of fact or law. I will maintain the confidence and preserve inviolate the secrets of my client, and will accept no compensation in connection with my client's business, except with my client's knowledge and approval. I will abstain from all offensive personality and advance no fact prejudicial to the honor or reputation of a party or witness, unless required by the justice of the cause with which I am charged. I will never reject from any consideration personal to myself the cause of the defenseless or oppressed or delay anyone's cause for lucre or malice. I will in all other respects conduct myself personally and professionally in conformity with the high standards of conduct imposed on members of the bar as conditions for the privilege to practice law in this state. So help me God. Congratulations, counsel.
Yay! Now I have to say, I know some lawyers that really need to maybe redo their oath because
Mr. Hawthorne, as soon as we
on the daily
are able to sign the paperwork and you get it back downtown, you will be, at least at this minute, the newest member of the State Bar of Michigan.
Yay! That's so. I love seeing stuff like this. I love this.
As a personal note, like I said, I have seen you practice before the court when you're practicing under the supervision of others.
It definitely was.
To those that do the scheduling, I'll say at least one time, it would be nice to have Mr. Hawthorne appear before me. I'd have to give me that long spiel of asking permission, but just to be able to say his name. It will certainly be a great pleasure. And young man, I also know others have said other things about you. I paid attention to that, except for those things that Miss Anderson has said. But I expect that you will do great, and I expect great things from you. And I don't think in any respect whatsoever that I'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
Madam Recorder, if you would please do so, please prepare a transcript of the special proceedings for Mr. Hawthorne. Mr. Hawthorne, make sure to provide to us an address. We will mail you a transcript of these proceedings as well as provide to you a video copy of these proceedings so that you will have them into posterity and can share them with members of the family.
I will be editing.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this special day for you. Washtenaw County Trial Court Special Session stands in recess.
Yay. Okay. All right, guys. I love watching stuff like that. I think it's so cool. Like I said, we've watched him for the last year as he's grown from a baby pre-lawyer to just being sworn into the bar. I love it. That's the kind of stuff that I love to see, that I think the public needs to see more of. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get off here. I have laundry to do. I have more cleaning to do, and I need to try to get this room turned around and set up better studio. I need to figure out a better camera angle. You guys, I promise I will get this. Dear Mid, yes, it was very nice. I am glad that my microphone works. I actually listened to a bit of my live stream and I heard. So my microphone sounds good. It's a little awkward. It's a big it's not showing it. It's a big boom mic thing. More, it's a professional mic. Anyways, I will see you guys here live next Thursday, 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my normal time. Obviously, if there are any changes to my dad's health, I will I will tell him that my mic works. Neener. Because we're 12. Anyways, if anything changes with my dad, obviously, you guys, I will post. But right now, like I said, he's good. He's home. Woo! That was the biggest step. But I'm going to get off here. I need to eat something. I have only had one cheese stick. You guys watched me eat, and I'm a fat chick, and I need food. And I'll see you guys next week. And if I can figure out how to end this. Yeah, got it. No, didn't get it. Sorry, guys. You be safe, too. Tell your brother stop locking you in stockades.